Hey guys, good morning. It's me, Mr. MC. I am just checking in, hoping we're all doing our work. You've had two practice lessons, and I've been impressed with the number of you who have been participating. It's not everybody, and quite frankly, it's not even 50% of you, but I would like to see more participation from now on, especially now that these lessons are required. And our first required lesson was on produce. And it was dropped on Wednesday. And I hope you are working on it right now and learning all about animal-like, plant-like, and fungus-like produce. The key things we want you guys to get from this lesson is why we consider them animal-like, why we consider them fungus-like, and why plant-like. And unfortunately, this is one of our favorite lessons to do with you in class because we go out to the pond and we get the pond water and we grow this incredibly scummy, disgusting pond water, and we take samples of it and put it under a microscope, and you would see this whole world of living things just doing their thing and eating and absorbing the sun, and you don't see any fungus-like in the pond water, but you see tons of animal-like and plant-like. And we could have taken awesome video and all that sort of stuff. But so we're just trying to give you guys the same thing, but online. And I hope you're taking advantage of it and learning about those things. And also realizing this is why we can't drink pond water, because all those living things could possibly start living inside of you. And there's all sorts of intestinal diseases you can get from drinking pond water. And that is why we drink treated water. It's filtered, and in some cases, if you live in Percival, it's chlorinated. And if you live in a well, like I do, or not live in a well, I no longer live in a well. But if you live out in the country and you are drinking well water, you are not drinking those things because they need to be exposed to sunlight. And when it's down deep in the ground, there's not enough sunlight. Now, we are drinking a certain amount of bacteria because bacteria is everywhere, but they're very small levels. And our water that we dig up out of the ground is actually very clean and comes from deep within the earth and is actually very old. So people who live in Percival, you are drinking treated water, and it is from surface sources, and so it has to be filtered and cleaned, including adding those chemicals. And I'm sure sometimes you guys can smell the chlorine in the water, especially when they flush the lines to run chlorine through them and get them all clean. Anyway, enough of that. So next up, we have fungus and energy flow, and that's going to be dropping on Wednesday again. And I hope that you guys are taking advantage of these lessons that we are spending hours creating and really working on them. And I've enjoyed communicating with those of you who have been communicating with me. And to increase communication and reaching me, I have put up a doc, a Q&A doc, basically. I think I called it McClellan Life Science Questions and Concerns. It's a Google Doc that you all have access to. I put it in Google Classroom, and if you have any questions or any concerns, you can type them directly on there, and everyone can see what you're typing, and then I will answer. John, last week when I posted it, he asked a question right away, and John Hall, the brother of Lily Hall, you guys know him, a little squirrely guy, but he's a good kid. Supposedly, he is just cheering up his sister so much, and we're so proud of him. Anyway, the document is designed so that if you have any questions that you mind sharing, now remember, everyone can see it, so don't put something on there that's private. And if you have something private you want to share with me, then you can do that directly through Google Classroom. You can send me a private comment, or you can email me, whatever you choose. And then I have that to increase communication, but then also increased communication, we have a, starting Thursday, you guys will have class times, right? So block 1 on Thursday is 9 to 9:30. Block 2 is 9:30 to 10. These are in the mornings, not at night. I'm in bed. And then block 3 is 10 to 10:30. And then Friday will be B-Day classes. And so block 5 will be 9 to 9:30 on Friday. And block 6 will be 9:30 to 10. And block 8 would be 10:30 to 11, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so what's going to happen is I will post a Padlet link at that time for that block. Okay, so if you're in block 1, you'll go to class and you'll see the link to Padlet, and you will click on it. You'll go to Google Classroom at 9 in the morning, and I'll be there, and it's going to start as like a texting thing back and forth. Okay, and if we get 5 or more people, I'll send out a Google Meet link, and then we can all join a Google Meet, and we can see each other and do a little more communications that way. All right, but it's going to start on Padlet, and it doesn't move to Google Meet until we get 5 or more people. And I'll do the same thing for each class. So go at those times that I mentioned and have been emailed out by Mr. Bell, and we will have some more direct communications per class. Okay, so I only want to see block 1 during 9 to 9:30, block 2, 9:30 to 10, okay, and so on. We're going to try to do that every Thursday and Friday. And also, too, if you haven't noticed, all our drawers out there, our students who love to draw, we put out that Life Science Workbook cover design contest, and I want to get those submitted by the end of the week so that we can, and this is going to be a contest between all the life science classes. So that means Mr. Snyder's doing the same thing, Mrs. Balio is doing the same thing, and anybody who wants to submit a drawing for the cover of the workbook, you'll be, we'll make a Google form and we'll put it out to everybody to vote on which one they think is the best, and which one it gets the best or the most votes will be the cover of the fall workbook of next year. So that'll be kind of cool. Anyway, so if you haven't noticed that, that's a contest, and the rules for the contest are posted on Google Classroom. You can see that in the stream. Okay, so hopefully I didn't ramble on too long. My little ticker says I've been going for 8 minutes and 16 seconds. That's a long time. And I really am looking forward to seeing more of you participate in the lessons coming up, and we are doing our best to make them as interesting as we can. It's difficult, okay? You know, I know doing this stuff online is only so fun. You know, there's some things that are good about it, and there's some things that are not. And I'm finding that I have been teaching in a classroom for over 20 years, which means I am a classroom teacher. I am not an online teacher, and so this is very different for me as well. And I'm doing my best to learn how to do online teaching and to do it at the same time. And so I really want to stress to you guys that it's only going to be successful if you participate. Okay? I can't teach to students that don't participate. And the more of you that participate, the more successful this is going to be. And it'll grow and it'll change, and I am very excited to start interacting with you more, and we'll see how things go. So work hard, and everyone turn in your lessons on Wednesday, because you're getting another lesson, Fungus and Energy Flow, on Wednesday. All right, Mr. MC is